Okay, it's Monday the 14th, and we are working on word problems. Today, 3 of today's problems are word problems. The other 2 are perpendicular bisectors like you did last week. Okay, so there's 2 kinds of word problems that you can get. One, I give you the slope and 1 point. And the other one is where you get 2 points given to you, and you have to find your own slope and go from there. So let's see what the important part is of this problem right here. So when I read this, the population of Anchorage, Alaska, they tell me how many people live there in 2002, and then it's been constantly increasing at a rate of 5,200 people per year. So that tells me right here that the slope is 5,200. 5,200 people per year. And so if we, if we say people per year, that just means that there's a fraction involved there, people per year. Right, so we'll just draw that line right there. When you see the word per, that's what we're talking about. That means fraction right there. All right, so people per year means, if you remember, whenever you do slope, y is on the top, right? Y minus y, and then x minus x is on the bottom, yes? So what does that tell you? That tells you that years are your x value, and people are your y value, right? So what's the point? Well, years is 2002, right? And the people is this. So y value is 288,000, excuse me, and then the x value is 2002. Now I'm not going to use 2002. Whenever you use years, you can always cut them off. So I'm going to say, this is what I'm thinking. Oops, let's get rid of that. And we'll do it this way. This is what I'm thinking. I've got a x-axis and a y-axis. And if I say, instead of 2002, if I just say 2, all right? So if I just say 1, 2, then I can use the point 2, and then way up here is 2,000. So that's what I'm going to say. I'm going to use this, whoops, I'm going to use this point right here. I'm going to have 2, oops, 2 comma 288,700. Yeah. Okay, so why did I do that? Because I'm saying instead of 2000, I'll just remember it's the year 2002. And so when I want to do 2010, all I have to do is put 10 in instead of 2010. It makes the number smaller. I don't have to deal with huge numbers. So I'm going to do 2 instead of 2002. I'll be a happy guy. So here we go. If I write it out like I almost always do, I would have y minus the y number, and then it would equal the slope times x minus the x number, right? And so I chose 2. It makes it lots easier than 2002. Can you imagine 5,200 times 2002? Yeah, that would be too big. Right? So what am I supposed to do? Whoops. What am I supposed to do? I need to multiply this, and then I need to add the 288,000 to the other side. So I'm going to multiply it out. And when I multiply it out, this is what I get. Y equals 5,280, oops, z, x, and then I've got, see, 2 times 5,000 is negative 10,000 something, 10,400. I have to subtract that from 28, so that's going to give me 278,300. There we go. That's my equation. Okay? So if I want to predict the population in the year 2010, remember x is the year. The x value is the year. So all I have to do is put 10 in my problem. So I'm looking for y. Remember that y is the population. So 5,280. Now then, that's going to be times 10. Why am I putting 10 in there? Because it says the year 2010. I'm not going to put 2010 in there because of the way I made the equation. I did, instead of doing 2002, I did 2. So I can just do 10 instead of 2010. And then 278,300. And that's going to tell me the answer. Right? So if I work that out, then I know exactly what y equals, how many people are living in, or were living in Anchorage, Alaska in 2010. And if you did it right, what you discovered was 330,300 peoples. Right? You have to have units. Don't forget your units. You'll be sad. Peoples. I don't think I can do anything with that. Yeah. All right. So at this growth rate, how long will it take Anchorage to grow to 500? See, now they're telling you the y value, the 500,000. So if you were typing it into your equation, you'd have to have 500,000 on this side equals 5,200. Now x you don't know. And then 278,300. Right? Oops, I forgot my plus sign. Let's put that in there. There we go. Now then, how do I solve this? Well, I have to take 500,000 and subtract 278,000 and then divide by 5,200. So first I subtract. I'm going to subtract. Where's my little line here? I'm going to take this one and move it all the way over here. Right? I'm subtracting it from 500,000, then I'm dividing by 5,200, and the answer comes out to be, let's just see, the answer comes out to be 42.6 years. Okay. So, how long will it take? It'll take 42.5 years for Anchorage to grow to be 500,000 people. That's the question, right? And so, oh, I didn't draw you my graph over here. I intended to. See, the y-intercept, we found the y-intercept to be 2,783. That's how many people lived in Anchorage back in the year 2000. Because at 2002, there was 2,888. To be 288,000. I can't say that number. And now it keeps growing and growing because in 10 years, in 2010, there's 330. So if you wanted to know how many people would live there right now, you could put 20 right here. 5,200 times 20 plus this value would tell you how many people live in Anchorage, Alaska right now. And like I said, it's going to take 42 years for it to be 500,000 people. Right? You know Tucson's already more than a million. Right? Okay, let's look at this last one. This guy is different because here you're given the slope. Down at the bottom, this one on this side, you're not given the slope. You're given 2 points. So right here I've got 32 and 0. That's the freezing point of water. If you measure in Fahrenheit temperature, it's 32. That's where water freezes. If you're measuring in the Celsius, or centigrade thing, that's 0. And then the same way with boiling. Boiling is 100 degrees centigrade. I like using centigrade as X. It's just easier for me, so that's what I'm going to do. So here I'm going to write it out for you just to show you what I am doing. I am saying I'm going to pick the centigrade temperature, and then I'm going to pick the Fahrenheit temperature. So when I do my points, these are the 2 points I'm picking. I'm picking 0, 32, and I'm also picking 100, 212. Now you could do it the other order. Your equation would be different than my equation, because if you do 32, 0 and 212, 10, it's not going to be the same equation, but you'll get exactly the same answers when you do 5 and 6. So let's do it this way and see what we get. So I have to find the slope, and so if I find the slope, I have to subtract the y values and then subtract the x values and then divide them, and I discover the slope is 9/5. So let's do that. All right. So I've got y minus, and so I'm going to put 32 right there, equals 9/5, because that's what I got when I found my slope, x minus 0. Anytime there's a 0, I use it, right? And so what do I get? Well, the equation that I come up with is y equals 9 divided by 5x plus 32. Fantastic. All right, that's my equation. Now then, like I said, if you did it the other way, with 32 in front and 212 in front, 212 was your x and 100 was your y, you'd have a different equation. You'd still be able to solve it to find the answer to the problem. Now remember that x is your Celsius number. So if I say 150 is Fahrenheit, I have to put 150 in for y, because that's my y value. And so I'd have 9/5. If you want a decimal there, that's, what is that? 1.8, and then plus 32. So if I was solving this problem, I would have to subtract 32 and then divide by 9/5. Subtract 32 and divide by 9/5. And the question was, what's the temperature measured in Celsius? So when you're doing that, you have to say, let's see, you would divide, what did I say, 150 minus 32, type it out on your calculator, and then divide by 1.8. That's what this is. So that'd be, excuse me, 65.6 degrees. All right. So we need to put that little degree symbol, and I don't have a little degree symbol, so I'm going to make it. There we go. And that answer is in Celsius. Right? So 150 degrees Fahrenheit is 65.6 degrees Celsius. Now if we go the other way, what if I tell you the Celsius temperature? Well, then I use the formula a different way, because I know the x number, right? So I know the x number, and so I can put it right here. I'm going to say y equals, I'm looking for the y number, y equals, and then I have 9 divided by 5 times 150, right? That goes there, and then I add 32 to that number, and then I know the answer. Right? So y is the value that I'm interested in, and so the answer comes out to be 1.8 times this plus 32. The value was 300 102 degrees. That's pretty hot. So whenever you're dealing with centigrade, let's see, if I know it's 150 degrees Celsius, I mean, then it's really 302 degrees Fahrenheit. So if you were baking a cake, you might want it to be 150, your oven to be 150 degrees centigrade. If you were in Europe and you had an oven that measured in centigrade, there you go. All right. Let's see. I think that's it. So thanks for watching. Bye.